150%, I think. Okay, so we're in section 15.3, Pre-Calculus Tech Math 3, and we're going to do inverse matrices. So if I have a matrix A, if I had a pen that wrote, if I had an inverse A and I went the inverse matrices, I would get the identity matrix. And if I went, boy, I'll get it right. There we go. And if I go the inverse matrix times the matrix, I also get the identity matrix. Now, the identity matrix is something with ones down the diagonal. So it might be a 2 by 2, or it might be a 3 by 3, or it might be a 4 by 4, or it might be a 5 by 5, or it might be a 6 by 6. But the bottom line is the matrix A has to be square. So I can't find an identity, I can't find an inverse matrix of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because this guy is 2 by 3, and I can't find an inverse matrix of something that isn't M by M, where they're both the same. So this guy, no identity matrix, can't do him, can't do that, but I can do that guy. Yeah. Now, so that's the name of the tune. So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to do that by taking my matrix and putting the A on one side, and I'm going to put the inverse matrix on the other side, and then I'm going to do elementary row operations on the matrix until the inverse matrix is on this side, the identity matrix is on this side, and the inverse matrix is on the other side. So now the issue is, what is allowed?
Does that say row or row?
Where?
Up top.
ERO.
Elementary row operation.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a new complainer.
Yeah, well, Enrique's
Don't call me a complainer,
elementary. I could spell it out, but it'd take forever. So on page 509, we have the 3 elementary row operations that we can do. So we can go and we can interchange any 2 rows. So I got row A and row B, and I can put that one up there and I can put that down there. I could do that. And 2, I can multiply all the elements in a row by the same non-zero number. So I could have row A, and I could go NA. Well, that's good, NA, I like that. Where N is something, it could be imaginary for that matter. It could be the square root of -3 or something. That'd be perfectly okay. But every element by NA. And 3, I can change a given row by multiplying all the elements of another row by the same non-zero number and add and subtract the product of the corresponding elements of the row below. So I can add and subtract rows. So if that's saying, I got it, and I could apply 2. I could multiply it by something before I added and subtracted it. Perfectly okay to do. All right, so those are the only 3 things I'm allowed to do, and because those 3 things are so elementary, I can program a computer to do it, and that's why you take your calculator out and it'll do an inverse matrix for you. So we're going over manual ways of doing it.
What's number 1?
Number 1 says I can interchange 2 rows. So if I have 1, 0, 2, 2, 4, 1, 2, 9, 0, I could interchange those and have 2, 9, 0, 1, 0, 2. That'd be perfectly okay to do if I could do it without messing up too bad. So that's the theory of the situation. Now there is another way of doing it, and but that of course is a pain in the backside. Now, why would we want an inverse matrix? Okay, so I've got 2x plus 3y is equal to 4, and I got 9x minus 8y is equal to minus 2. All right, so that'd be good. And I could rewrite this. I could say this is ax is equal to c, for example. I could do that. And a would be 2, 9, 3 minus 8. And x would be xy. So now if I multiplied a times x, I would get those two equations back. And then I could say, well, the C guy, is this a 4 or 9? I forget.
4.
It's a 4? The other guy made into a 9, but this guy was supposed to be a 4. And C would be 4 minus 2. Okay, so now if I go and take inverse A times A x is going to be equal to inverse A C. So I can multiply both sides of the equation by inverse A. I could do that. Well, A inverse A is just the identity matrix. X is equal to A inverse AC. So X, which is just my X and my Y, that's all that X is going to equal my answer. Answer, A and S. So I'm going to, by just taking inverse AC, I can get the answer to these two equations, two unknowns. Now, clearly there are easier ways to find two equations, two unknowns, right? But what if I had 10 equations, 10 unknowns? You know, would it be easier to find the inverse matrix and multiply it by C? Well, it might be. Could be. Well, anyway, we're in chapter 15, so there's no reason we can't do these things. So I'll look at number 2. And I want the inverse matrix of 5 minus 4, 2, 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the identity matrix on the other side. I have something like that. All right, so I'm going to go, I want this first element to be a 1. So I'm just going to multiply by 1 over 5, my first row. Now I've got a 1, a 2 over 5, a 1 over 5, and a 0. The second row is going to stay the same. What?
So you just multiply everything by 1/5.
Yeah, I just multiply the entire top row by 1/5. And the question is, how do I decide to multiply by 1/5? What I'm looking for is to change this part of the matrix into the identity matrix. So I want a 1, 0, 0, 1 when I get done. So now I've got a 1 there. I'm 1/4 done. So that's why I decided to do that. Because this guy, when I get done, this guy's got to be a 1. Might as well have him now.
Okay, so you just try to find something that makes the first number a 1.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah, that's fine. Then I'm going to multiply the top guy by 4. And I'm going to add them to the bottom row. Okay, so I'm going to have a 1, 2 over 5, 1 over 5, 0. Okay, so 4 times 1 is 4. I add it to minus 4, I get a 0. Why did I do that? Well, because I want a 0 there.
Okay.
4 times 2/5 is 8/5. I add 8/5 to 15/5, and I get 23/5. 23/5. And then I add 4/5 to 0, and I add 0 to 1. Okay, so that's where I am now. Now I look at this, and I want this guy to be a 1. Okay, so I'm going to make him a 1 by multiplying by 5/23. Okay, so I got a 0, 2/5, 1/5, 0. Still have a 0 there. And this is going to be a 1. And this is going to be 4/23. And this guy is going to be 5/23. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is make that element, the 2/5, I want to make that a 0. Okay, so I'm going to multiply by 2/5, and then I'm going to subtract. And 2/5 times 0 is 0, so when I subtract it from 1, I still get 1. And this guy is going to be a 0. I'm going to have a 0, 1. I'm going to have 4/23, 5/23. And now we're pushing the envelope of our ability to do the math, right? So I've got 8/115, and I'm subtracting it from 15, 1/5. All right, so calculator, come to the rescue. 1/5, and I'm going to subtract 8/115. And I'm going to get 3/23. 3/23. And this guy is going to be minus 10. Did I do that right? 1, 1, 5. I'm going to do that one more time because I put in the wrong number. 1/5 minus 10/115. That's better. So this is 13/115. 13/115. All right, so that being the case, if I have 5, 2, minus 4, 3, and I multiply it by its inverse, I best get the identity matrix, right? So I'm checking my work. 115 minus 10, 4/23, 5/23. And we'll clean that up a little bit so when Raimundo looks at it, he'll recognize it as the truth instead of some bogus set of markings. All right, so first row, first column, 5 times 13/115 plus 2 times 4/23 had better be 1, otherwise we are not correct. Okay, so I'm not going to do it in our head. 5 times 13/115 plus 2 times 4/23 is not 1. So that's not good. That
You're in
means,
radians?
huh?
You're in radians?
As a matter of fact, I'm in degrees. All right, so that means we messed something up someplace. All right, so we come back to the top. I multiply through by a fifth. That should be right. I multiply by 4 and I add 8 fifths, 15 fifths. 8 and 15 is 23. 23 fifths. 4 fifths I'm adding. Okay, so that looks right. I want a 1 there. Okay, so I get that. I get 4 over 23. I get 5 over 23. Two over 5, and I'm subtracting. Okay, that guy goes away. One fifth minus 2 over 5 times 4 over 23. I get 3 23rds. Okay, so I don't get this. I get 3 23rds. The 5's go away. Wow, did I ever mess that up bad? The 5's go away, and this becomes 2 23rds. Okay, so now we're going to put 3 23rds minus 2 23rds. Okay. First row, 15 plus 8 is 1, right? So that's a 1. First row, second column, minus 10 plus 10 is 0. Second row, first column, minus 12 plus 12 is 0. Second row, second column, 8 plus 5 is 23, is a 1. Okay, now we got it right. Now, if I go on my calculator and I go to Matrix, and I go to Names, I go to Edit, and I have a 2 by 2 guy, okay, 2 by 2, 2 by 2, okay, and I put in a 5, and a 2, and a minus 4, and a 3, and I quit out of there, and then I go back into Matrix, and I go to Math. Do I do the inverse first?
I think you do it after.
I have to do it after. Darn, when you know it. So I go back to Matrix, take the A guy, back to Matrix again, do Math, inverse, enter. And I get total complete garbage is what I get.
I turned it into decimal. Like 8 and then it turned a fraction to decimal.
Oh, turn it from fraction to decimal. The whole thing? Okay, so we're going to clear it. So I'm going to turn in from fraction to decimal the answer. Oh, yes, there it is. 3 over 23, 4 over 23, minus 2 over 23, and 5 over 23. Excellent. So the calculator does it, and on any test it'd be perfectly okay to just write down, if you thought your calculator had the answer, which I find hard to believe, All right, let's find another easy one here. All right. Number 18 looks easy. 1, 2, 3. 2, 5, 7. 3, 7, 8. 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay. 4-0 for setting up the problem. Okay. We're going to take the top row, multiply it by 2, and subtract it from the second row. We're going to take the top row and multiply it by 3 and subtract it from the third row. Now, why are we doing that? Well, if we multiply by 2 and subtract it, we get a 0 there. If we multiply by 3 and subtract it, we get a 0 there, and that's what we want. We want a 1, 0, 0. So that's what we're going to do. All right. I'm trying to make this the identity matrix. That's what I'm trying to do. I can do it one thing at a time, or I can do, I mean, the more I do at a time, the more chances of me messing it up, right? And that's really the fun part. All right, so I'm multiplying by 2, and I'm subtracting 0. I'm multiplying by 2, and I'm subtracting 1. I'm multiplying by 2, and I'm subtracting 1. I'm multiplying by 2, and I'm subtracting minus 2. I'm multiplying by 3, and I'm subtracting 0. I'm multiplying by 3, I'm subtracting 1. I'm multiplying by 3, and I'm subtracting minus 1. I'm multiplying by 3, and I'm subtracting minus 3, 0, 1. Okay. Now, next thing I'm going to do is make that guy 0. What I want to do is I don't want to undo what I've already done. So there's no reason to add the top row to the second or third row, because that would undo to the 0 that I want, right? So I'm gonna get rid of this one. So I'm going to take that row, and I'm just going to subtract. Okay, so I write 1, 2, 3, 1, 0, 1. I'm not changing it. 0, 1, 1, minus 2, 1, 0. I'm not changing that. And I'm subtracting 0, 0, minus 2, minus 1, minus 1, 1. Okay, so that looks nice. Next thing I'm going to attack is this guy right here. I want him to be a 1, so I'm going to multiply by minus 1/2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 0, 1. 0, 1, 1, minus 2, 1, 0. 0, 0, 1, 1/2, 1/2, minus 1/2. Alright, next thing I want to do is make this guy a 0. So I'm going to go and subtract the bottom guy from the middle guy. 1, 2, 3, 1, 0, 1. 0, 0, not 0, 0. 0, 1, 0. Okay, I'm subtracting minus 5 over 2. I'm subtracting 1/2. I'm subtracting 1/2. 0, 0, 1, 1/2, 1/2, minus 1/2. Okay. So now I want the 2 to be a 0. I want the 3 to be a 0. Okay, so I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to go times 2 and subtract. I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to go times 3 and subtract. Am I going to do it at the same time? Oh, probably not. Okay, so I'm going to erase this guy because I'm not going to do him this time. I'm going to do him next time. All right, so I'm going to times 2 and subtract 1, 0, 3. Minus 5 gives me a 6. Minus 1 gives me a minus 1. Minus 1 gives me a 0. 0, 1, 0. 5 over 2. 1/2. 1/2. 0, 0, 1. 1/2. 1/2. Minus 1/2. Okay, get out the eraser, see if we can make it look a little bit prettier. Not much prettier, just a little bit. Okay, now I want to make that 3 go away, so I'm going to go times 3, and I'm going to subtract. 1, 0, 0. 3 halves subtracted from 12 halves would be 9 halves. 3 halves subtracted from 2 halves would be minus 5 halves. 3 halves minus 3 halves subtracted from 0 would be 3 halves. The other 2 rows stay the same. 0, 1, 0, minus 5 over 2, 1/2, 1/2, 0, 0, 1, 1/2, 1/2, minus 1/2. Okay, so now I've got the inverse matrix. Okay, so I got the inverse matrix sitting there. Okay, that's fine. So now I'm going to check my work. I'm going to go and take the inverse matrix. No, not. I'm going to go and take the matrix that I had. Which one am I doing? 18? So I have 1, 2, 3, 2, 5, 7, 3, 7, 8. I'm going to multiply by the inverse matrix, which I think is this guy over here. Thank you very much. Okay. And when I get done, I better have the identity matrix, otherwise I'm going to be very disappointed. Let's see, what's the movie where somebody was very disappointed? I forget what that was. Oh, Fifth Element.
Fifth Element.
Yeah, Fifth Element. Yeah, going to be very disappointed. Okay, so 9
Wait a minute.
plus 3. 9 plus 3 is 12, minus 10 is 2 halves. I have a 1 sitting right there. The first one's correct. All right, now I'm going to look at this guy and that guy. I've got 10. I've got a 5 and a 7. A 10, a 5, and a 7? That's 12, right? And it's minus 10? I've got a 1 sitting right there. I'm looking at this guy and that guy. 9, 7, minus 8. That doesn't look good, does it? 9, 7, minus 8. 9, 7, that's not 1. Oh, bummer. 9, 7, that's a 4. Oh, that's disgusting.
Right one is wrong.
The top right guy.
In the
This guy here?
yes,
What do you think that should be?
half.
All right, well, there's a 0 sitting here. There's no 0 sitting there. But it became a 0 when I multiplied it by 2. All right, so I got my red marker. I didn't do anything to the 0. I didn't do anything to the 0. How come? Why do I have a 1 there? Anybody know what I did to this 0 to make it a 1?
You made it a 1 instead of a 0.
Somehow I think that should be a 0. And then that should be a 0. And then when I do this, I'm going to have a minus 1 instead of a 0. And then minus 1 minus 3 plus 3 halves make this a 1 half. Is that what you're saying I'm supposed to have there? 1 half right there. Well, no, it's a 0 right there. No. Yeah, it's a 1 right there. Back. So it's supposed to be a 1, a minus 1 sitting here. And with a minus 1 sitting there, it's plus 1 half sitting there. Okay. Plus 1 half. And I haven't used, I used this against that, now that against this. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 1, 2, that makes that a 0. You sure this is 1 half minus a half? But it can't be 1 half minus a half. Wait a minute. It's this guy times that guy. Right, this guy times. Okay, so that's 3 and 7 is 10. Minus 8 is 2. Over 2 is 1. Okay, so that's better. And we don't want it to be in red because we got it right. 1. Okay, now everything else should fill in as a 0. It was this guy times that. Minus 5 plus 5 is 0. That's a 0. We already did that one. This guy times here, 18 plus 7 is 25, minus 25 is 0. That guy times this, 2, 5 minus 7 is 0. That times this, 21 plus 8, 27. 27 plus 8, 35 minus 35, 0. Okay, that times that, minus 15 plus 15, 0. Okay, so it checks. All right.
Check.
Yeah, that checks. I think we should do 28 next. What do you think? So, before we do 28, we're going to vote Yes and no. Okay, how many think the instructor will get this completely wrong? That's only one element, right? How many think he's going to get it wrong? One. Hugo's the only one?
Do we
Hugo,
mean eventually or the first?
We have
the first time through, first
time
pass.
through. Ooh, not no.
Yeah, I got a 2 for that one. How many think that I've learned from my mistakes, I won't make any more, and I'll get it correct this time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. Oh, you guys are so hosed.
Wait, if we're incorrect, what do we win from realistic?
I mean, that just assumes I'm going to, never mind. Yeah.
You get an 80 in the quiz.
So, 80 on the next quiz, right?
Yeah.
1.
Even if you get a 90.
So this is 20. This is 28. So I got 1, 0, 2, 1. 1, 0. So it's up to the people that said I'm going to get it right to make sure I do. 2, 4, 0, minus 2. See, I got a 9 sitting there already, so I can't possibly get it right. 0, minus 1, 2. Okay, can we agree that maybe the setup is correct? You don't agree that the setup is correct?
Yeah, it doesn't.
No, I'm not, I don't have that.
Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a subtract, and then we're going to do a times 2 and subtract, and then we're going to go and do a times 4 and subtract. Okay, so that's the plan. 1, 0, 2, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. And we're just going to subtract. 0, 0, 2, 0, minus 1, 1, 0, 0. And then we're going to do a times 2 and subtract. 0, 4, 0, 0, 4, 0, minus 4, minus 2, 0, 1, 0. And then we're going to do a minus 4 and subtract. 0, 0, minus 5, minus 2, minus 4, 0, 0, 1. All right. Then we're going to say, well, you know, it would really be convenient if this 4 was up there, so I'm going to interchange rows. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to interchange rows. Well, and I'm going to multiply by 1/4 while I'm doing it. Okay, so I'm going to have 1, 0, 2, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. And then I'm going to have 0, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1/2, 0, 1/4, 0, and then I'm moving the guy down 1, 0, 0, 2, 0, minus 1, 1, 0, 0, and the guy in the bottom, 0, 0, minus 5, minus 2, minus 4, 0, 0, 1. Okay, so I like that. Now we want this guy to be a 1, so we're going to multiply times 1/2. Okay. Time to change color. 1, 0, 2, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. 0, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 1/2, 0, 1/4. How did that get to be 1/4? Oh, I think I remember. 0, 0, 1, 0, minus 1/2, 1/2, 0, 0, 0, 0, minus 5, minus 2, minus 4, 0, 0, 1. Okay, so I think I'm going to go times what? All right. I'm going to do a times 5 add. Okay, so we're going to do a times 5 add. 1, 0, 2, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 1/2, 0, 1/4, 0. Keep this guy. 0, 0, 1, 0, minus 1/2, 1/2, 0, 0. Okay, now we're going to do a times 5 and add. 0, 0, 0, minus 2. Okay, so I got 5 halves, and I've got 5 halves, and I have 8 halves for minus 13 halves. And then I've got and then I got 5 halves, 0, 1. Okay, now I want this guy to be a 1, so I'm going to multiply by minus 1/2. Minus 1/2. 1, 0, 2, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. 0, 1, 0 minus 1, minus 1/2, 0, 1/4, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, minus 1/2, 1/2, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. So I'm 1, 2, 3 more operations away. All right, so I'm going to be 13 quarters. It's going to be 5 quarters, 0, 1/2. And notice that I did not write a quarter there. Now I got a quarter there. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of this guy. So I'm just going to do an add to get rid of him. I want to get rid of that guy. So I'm going to go times 2 and subtract. Okay, so that's my plan. One, 0, 0, 1. Times 2, subtract is a 2. Times 2 and subtract minus 1. Times 2, 0, 0. And I'm going to add. 0, 1, 0, 0. 13 quarters minus 2 quarters is minus 11 quarters. 5 quarters. 1 quarter. 1/2. Okay, we're keeping this guy. 0, 0, 1, 0. Minus 1/2. 1/2. 0, 0. 0, 0, 0, 1. 13 quarters. 5 quarters. 0, 1/2. We want to get rid of this guy. Last operation to do. So we're going to do a subtract. 1, 0, 0, 0. Okay, I got 13 quarters and I have 8 quarters. So that's going to be minus 5 quarters. I have 4 quarters minus 5 quarters minus 9 quarters. 0 minus 1/2. Okay, at that point I've got everything I need. Minus 11 quarters. 5 quarters. 1 quarter. 1/2. Minus 1/2. 1/2. 0, 0. 13 quarters. 5 quarters. 0, 1/2. Now, did somebody put this in their calculator?
Yes.
Is that correct?
It looks your negative, your half is got to be. Yeah, it's wrong.
This guy?
No.
That negative 1/2 or this negative 1/2?
That's got to be negative.
The one on the bottom?
Yes. Then your 5 quarters got to be negative.
You're, in your case, you need to go up. You're only showing 3 lines.
That's my 4th line.
Yeah, but you don't have to come further, so you can cut those off.
Okay, so don't trust Enrique's calculator. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, it's right. He was just looking at the wrong one.
Okay, so the people that voted that I could do it, well, remember that on the Friday quiz, put that down as extra credit. That I got it right, and you said I would. Okay.
You gotta believe him.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll put mine.
You have to believe.
He's got the names already.
And I said he could do
Who's the
it.
name?
I said he could do it. He didn't mark the name.
He took a picture.
Well, see, those that know that they got it right will remember to put it on their quiz. I'm not going to remind you to do it. Right?
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to do number 35.
Right.
35? All right, so number 35. We have that A is minus 2, 3, 4, minus 5. And we have that C is 26 minus 34. And we want to find X and Y. That's what we want to do. Right. So the first thing we want to do is find the inverse of minus 2, 4, 3, minus 5. 1, 0, 0, 1. Check.